that I learned in my international business class. So, what do you call a person who speaks 2 languages?
Bilingual.
Bilingual. What do you call a person who speaks 3 languages?
Trilingual?
Yes. And what do you call someone who speaks only 1 language?
English.
American. So most Americans have little to no experience speaking additional languages, and this is something that is really lacking in our society today. And our world is becoming so interconnected, and so it's really imperative that us as Americans focus on trying to learn new languages. That way we can, facilitate conversations and look smart and knowledgeable while we're talking to people all over the world. So through my speech today, I hope that I can open your eyes to the importance of knowing additional languages for the American people. So I'm sure many of you, especially here in Texas, have come into contact with several people over the last year that have asked you a question or needed your help with something and you couldn't respond because you didn't know the answer or how to say it in the right language. So that's something that can really be impacted when you start to learn a different language. So, like I said, today's world is extremely interconnected, and business meetings and daily interactions with business officials all over the world require connections between language barriers and cultural barriers that are really lacking today in society. And it is often said here in America that many people feel that the other countries are learning English, so it's not important for us to learn English, and that's not true. And another reason that it's important to learn English is a lot of us, after we get our college degrees, we feel that our learning is done or that we're not really motivated or interested in learning anymore. And learning a language really allows you to continue to learn, but you get to learn on your own time and your own pace. And then when you're learning an additional language, it is important to become bilingual. Based on an article that I found by the author Collier, she said programs are designed to teach language needed to survive in the work site. So a lot of people just learn language that they need at a particular job, and that just really hinders people's motivation to be fluent. So if you're going to commit and you're going to want to invest that time in becoming fluent so you can really use that language. And then one of the last points about the benefits of being bilingual is the increased likeliness that you'll make connections with someone else across the world. When you learn a different language, that gives you an opportunity and more opportunity to connect with millions of other people because you have that same communication. So these points pointed out the learning advantages, or the advantages of learning an additional language. So now we'll talk about the easy resources that are available. So I'm sure most of y'all have heard of Rosetta Stone. That's one of the best known programs that are used to learn languages. So what Rosetta Stone does is they use an interactive software platform. So they just start with common words and common words that are used in the daily life, and then they increase that to sentences and then to conversations and stories. So the interactive face on the website is really nice, and so that's why I have this iPad, just saying that you could learn another language just sitting in your chair using an iPad. And so the Rosetta Stone, it really gives you the opportunity to learn at your own pace, on your own time, whenever you feel free. And so one of the sources that I have by the author Martin, he says that results indicate that Anglo learners of Spanish are moderately motivated to learn Spanish, though they respond quite positively to being fluent. And participants are not necessarily willing to invest the time and effort required to achieve fluency. And like I said earlier, that just isn't a good objective to have if you know just a little bit, but you still can't have a conversation. So just being fluent is really important. And then you can also learn Spanish through taking classes or having tutors, but that goes back to you're not on your own time schedule, on your own place. So Rosetta Stone is a really good option, and there are millions of options. Just a simple Google search will return a lot of websites that offer not just Spanish, but additional resources for learning additional languages. So lastly, let's look at the personal benefits that come from knowing multiple languages. So as the world is interconnected, it's imperative that you have a step up from someone else that you're going for a job after. So having, most of us nowadays have college degrees, so now it's important to have a master's degree or know an additional language that you are set apart. And then to be successful, knowing those additional languages also allow you to move up the corporate ladder. You're able to travel more because you can communicate. You're able to do more international negotiations because, again, you're able to communicate and you know those cultural resources and customs that they're used to. And then for my last source, participants indicate that usefulness of Spanish was one of the most reasons for studying the language. So people want to study languages that they feel are most useful. So here in Texas, Spanish is really important. So being able to just find a language that you can connect with and that you feel is going to be useful also increases that motivation and makes you a more confident speaker when you are fluent in talking to those people. So I hope that this speech has shown you the importance of learning an additional language and how it can impact your life. So in summary, many Americans lack the appreciation for additional languages, and it is important that we join together to educate each other on the importance of having from knowing 2 or more languages. And knowing these additional languages allows you to continue to learn and grow every day and allows you to succeed in your career. And it also allows you to build connections with others all around the world. So do you have any questions?
Do you speak any other language?
No, I don't.
What other language would you like to learn?
I want to learn Spanish after I graduate from college in May. I'm going to plan on doing the Rosetta Stone program to learn Spanish. And I'll also be in San Antonio, so I feel like that will be very useful. Okay, thank you for listening to my speech today.